People are building multi-million-dollar apps and websites in 24 hours without any coding experience. Now, you don't need a huge development team or investment, you just need a Lovable subscription. Yeah, you heard me right. Building whole apps and websites in 24 hours, and they're making millions. Today, I'm going to tell you about the AI startup Lovable and how they were able to achieve 100 million in annual recurring revenue in just 8 months. 8 months. Welcome to First Gen, where I share business insights and news for first-time founders and business leaders. There's no fluff around here. I don't just share the what, but the how. So let's get into it. And let's start with who is Lovable. Lovable is an AI app builder that essentially works by you telling it in plain English what you want, and it writes the code and builds the app or website for you. It's basically like having an AI software engineer that builds and tweaks your app or website based on your instructions. The company's vision is to be the last piece of software to enable 1 billion people to become creators. In just 8 months, Lovable was able to achieve $100 million in annual recurring revenue with just 45 employees. That's $2.2 million per employee. Now, let's dive into the 4 reasons why I believe they've been able to achieve such huge growth. They are solving a huge and painful problem. Lovable's core product addresses a significant market need, which is enabling and simplifying the process of app and website development for a broad audience, especially non-coders. Now, I'm sure most of you probably would have had an app idea or website idea at least once in your life, but you didn't know how you could actually get started. You didn't have the coding experience, you didn't have a huge amount of investment to go hire a software development team. Well, Lovable solves that problem for you. They basically made complex tasks accessible, which means they can tap into a diverse user segment. The second reason is that they have a really strong and strategic go-to-market and viral loop. The company focused heavily on product hunt, developer and influencer engagement, and also content marketing on YouTube, LinkedIn, to really maximize their viral adoption. And in addition to that, people have been creating products using Lovable that have gone on to have huge success. And this really drives a lot of attention to their product. So for example, there's an entrepreneur in Brazil called Chao Morietti who generated $3 million in revenue in just 48 hours with a product they built on Lovable. There's another user called Jamil who built a tool for restaurant owners and was able to reach $90,000 in annual recurring revenue. When people hear those stories, they're keen to find out, how did they do this and whether they could make their dreams turn into reality. And what I'm going to show you now very quickly is what Lovable themselves say about how they were able to grow. So, firstly, and most importantly, they talk about building a product people love. And that's always the most important thing. You're definitely not going to get huge growth and adoption if people don't love your product. And that's what they really started off with. They focused on addressing real user pain points. And it goes back to the first point I made around solving a big and painful problem. Secondly, they encouraged user sharing. They leaned heavily on the power of their users, encouraging them to share on social media platforms like X, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Again, that means that their users are doing the work for them. Thirdly, they drove content and co-marketing using platforms like TikTok, which is a great way to promote your product. but also doing content on YouTube and X. And lastly, they also launched strategically on Product Hunt, which is the platform where people launch new applications and websites to the community. They were really thoughtful in how they got out there and how they were able to reach their users. And by building in a natural sharing mechanism in Lovable, this enabled them to really accelerate their growth. The third reason why I believe they were able to grow so quickly is because of efficient monetization. Lovable makes money through a simple usage-based subscription. You basically start for free with some free credits given to you. And when you need more, you can actually upgrade your account to a pro account at $25 a month, and then to a business if you need more at $50. And I'll just show you quickly their actual monetization approach. So as you can see here, you start with 50. You can do public projects, unlimited collaborators, but you're limited on the number of credits that you get. And the credits basically mean that, for every action that you ask Lovable to do, you use some of your credits. So for example, small edits might be 0.5 credits, but building full pages might be 1.2 credits. So you start off free and you can trial it out and see how you like it and see how it goes. And then when you need more, you can upgrade to the pro version. Now, what I think is really smart about their monetization model is that you can obviously buy more credits here, right? But as you get more and more into building your solution, you're going to want to buy more credits. As you start to see your vision come to life, you're going to want to increase the number of credits you have per month. And that's what I think is really sticky, is that once you get into it, once you start building, once you see it come into life, you just want to build more. And I think that's how they've really been able to accelerate their growth. Lastly, operational efficiency. Like I mentioned earlier, they have a super lean team of about 45 employees. And so the ARR per employee is completely off the charts. Now, what does this mean? Well, it means that they can iterate on their product quickly. That feedback loop with their customers is so quick. They launch a product, customers test it out, customers give them feedback, and they're ready sharing it back with their development teams. Having that small and nimble team means that they can make decisions quickly, but then also they can execute their go-to-market strategies very effectively. Lovable have a strong focus on their product and execution. And in the startup world, time is currency. So what does this all mean for a first-time founder or business leader? Well, firstly, you need to be solving a real and big pain point for your customers. Make sure you're going out there and speaking to them, and that you're not just addressing a need that you think they need, but something that they truly need. A lot of people waste a lot of time building solutions that isn't a real problem, and that their customers are happy with the solution that they have currently. Yes, it might be a bit more manual, but it's not big enough of a problem for them to actually pay for it. Secondly, think about how you can build word of mouth into the natural use of your product. This is one of the smartest ways that you can actually grow. And I think, to be honest, it's a bit of a cheat code for driving viral growth. Next, you need to be iterating and building with speed. It's not about being perfect. It's about getting your product in front of your customers and getting them to test it out and provide you with feedback. That's how you'll really ensure that you're building the right product for them. And as I mentioned earlier, time is currency, especially in the age of AI. And lastly, make sure you're building a great and strong monetization model. A lot of people are building products out there and they haven't really thought about how they're going to monetize it. How much are their customers willing to spend? And is this solution really scalable? So when you're building your product, make sure you're thinking about monetization and how you can actually turn this product into a real business. And if you learned something from this video, give it a like and subscribe to First Gen for more business insights on the how and not just the what.